Alright, ladies and gents, so I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a slight little update as to how things are going to play out when it comes to I.O.N.C.L.A.S.H. So first of all, please hit the subscribe button. We are rapidly closing in on 50,000 subscribers, and unfortunately, Master 3.0, I will not be doing a 45k face reveal. It simply will not be happening. I already mentioned earlier that I don't think I ever plan on doing a face reveal. I like the way that you guys imagined me, and that's going to be a little thing that I want you guys to play around with in the comments. What exactly do you guys imagine me as? This is probably the most fascinating question I've ever asked, so I really want to know. Feel free to leave a comment below. Let's get to more important things besides what I look like. And as you guys can see, Clash Royale just kicked off, and it's rapidly gaining interest. Alright, so what exactly does that mean for I.O.N.C.L.A.S.H? Well, as you guys can see, the name is I.O.N.C.L.A.S.H, and since the name still has Clash in it, and since Clash Royale still has Clash in it, it's perfectly fine for me to keep posting Clash Royale, but that does not mean that I'm going to stop posting Clash of Clans. You see, I'm going to make Clash of Clans more of a, I don't know, in-depth type of video-oriented game. Still do the top 10s and decipher Clash of Clans and launch deep meanings and all that like I usually do. But for Clash Royale, it's going to be more or less gameplay, something that I haven't done in a long time. You guys see a lot of my videos, and you love my videos because they're unique in a sense, but at the same time, I really do enjoy doing gameplay type of videos, and it's not really something that I've been able to do with Clash of Clans because I found the gameplay so boring. But all of a sudden, this new game comes out, and it's actually really fun and intuitive, and I'm like, alright, perfect, let's start playing this. So that's what you guys will see when it comes to this. I'll still post top 5s on Clash Royale as well, so don't get me wrong. We'll see how things play out, and we will see. But for the time being, let's talk about why this game came out, because everything relates back to Clash of Clans. And so let's get started. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? To start off this video, we have to talk about the company behind Clash of Clans as a whole, known as Supercell, or really pronounced as Supercell. Supercell made some of the top games and is probably one of the leading game developing companies in the entire world. I think they fall behind one other company known as King, and the King, of course, it's funny, their name is King, but regardless, they're the King because they invented Candy Crush, which generates an extreme amount of revenue because people just spend cash on that game. Afterwards is Supercell, and right underneath them is Rovio, also known as the people who made not Candy Crush, the people who made Angry Birds, one of the first viral games. And looking into all this, I'm like, wow, game companies have come so far. They've come to the point where they are now generating billions and billions of dollars. In fact, Supercell last year generated $1.1 billion. So, how did they do it, right? How did a game like this manage to generate $1.1 billion? Well, it comes back to Clash of Clans, which generated most of the revenue that Supercell got. And guess what? Here's what's really interesting. Recently, the funding for Supercell comes from this company known as SoftBank. Majority of their investment is placed into Supercell, okay? So SoftBank is this gigantic billion-dollar corporation which invests in smaller companies, and then they invest a bunch of money into Supercell so Supercell can grow and, of course, market their game better, make their game better, so on and so forth. In other words, SoftBank is the behind-the-scenes person giving all the cash to good old Supercell. In fact, if you search Supercell SoftBank, you guys can see something interesting happened June 1st of 2015. So as you guys can see, SoftBank ups its stakes in Supercell to 73%. You wouldn't see the changes right away, but if you guys remember, for a time from approximately February to about June, Supercell sort of paused updates, and a lot of people were complaining. In fact, it probably went even longer. It was probably up to like August. Supercell sort of chillaxed on the updates, and they were having a lot of business transactions go down. But the final thing was that 73% of Supercell is pretty much owned by SoftBank. Here's what SoftBank expects of Supercell. They want Supercell to make $1 billion in 2014. That's numbers we have. In 2015, I presume they made about $2 billion, okay? And then they know that this company is going to continue to grow at that rate, and so they expect Supercell to make $3 billion in 2016. That's the expected amount. What did that mean? This meant that Clash of Clans needed to go to a whole nother level, and that's why Town Hall 11 came out when it did, to hype up the game. Alright? If you guys think about it, alright? The loot system broke, but did it really break due to Town Hall 11? Or did it really break? Did it even break due to the update? Or did it break because of something else? This is where things get a little bit more complicated, okay? I'm about to relate things from investment to Supercell. So here's the thing. Supercell came out with the Town Hall 11 update, and everyone was pretty happy for the first few days. Town Hall 11 was a little ugly, they fixed it, but what did they do before they released the update? They hyped it up a lot, right? YouTubers got millions and millions of views because Town Hall 11 was actually coming out. Play Clash of Clans made bank, we all know that, and regardless, they also did another thing. This thing called advertising. You'd see Clash of Clans advertisements everywhere. Why? It's because of this. Their advertising budget on a daily basis is $1 million, but after SoftBank bought them and told them that they better make $3 billion in 2016, they upped their marketing budget another $2 million. They upped it to $3 million a day, okay? And that's why all of a sudden we see all these new ads on the Clash of Clans channel. All these new actors and stuff are on the Clash of Clans channel. The ads are all over the place. They're at the top of the App Store, but the ads are still all over the place. You can't enter an app without seeing a Supercell Clash of Clans advertisement. On YouTube, all their advertisements tend to go viral. You know why? Because they market those advertisements. It's not because the YouTube videos themselves get views. People aren't that desperate to watch those ads. What really happens is that they take the ads and they advertise them in front of actual YouTube videos. For example, my YouTube video. And that's why those videos get millions and millions of views. Next to one of those ads, they have a cool little thing that links to Google Play, and that's how they get multiple people to install. So how does this relate back to the update? I know, it's all interesting, right? This is how it relates back. If all this advertising is going into Clash of Clans, let's think about the loot system, right? The loot system works like this. If there are, say I go inactive, right? I turn into a dead base, and someone can, I'm inactive a lot, so I'm a dead base a lot, and people can come raid me and take my loot. As you guys can see, people are getting so much loot off of me. 394,000, 425,000, 143,000, okay, right? So people are getting a lot of loot out of me. It's really unusual because say I see all these advertisements, say a lot of new players and even a lot of old inactive players start playing again. All of a sudden they're no longer dead bases, right? Interesting, because that means that the loot system decreases with the more players that are in the game. Competition increases to find every dead base, and those who play the most will be the ones who find the most bases. All of a sudden, farming's in shambles, right? Because there are simply too many players in the game. I can only imagine how many players they increased. They must have added a good 10 to 20 million players within the course of 2 months, and that rained havoc on the loot system. Here's what it led to. It led to people quitting the game, okay? And that's where things started to balance out for a second. If people started to quit the game and they couldn't find loot and they just gave up on the game, then they turned into a dead base. This is where people got ticked off at Supercell. You see, Supercell didn't want anyone to keep finding loot, even if people started to quit. So, this is what they said. They technically speaking said that, yeah, we're going to start removing the dead bases from the search results as a whole. So when you go and you attack someone, you're not going to find a dead base. I swear if I find a dead base. Oh my gosh, I found it. Well, I guess that's kind of a dead base. But here's what they said. You're not going to find a dead base. But something else happened. At the same time, as they wanted people who quit, that's fine, they could be a dead base, and as they started to remove these dead bases, they needed a way to basically make it so people who were training troops would attack at a certain amount of time. So instead of people being lazy and pushing using Town Hall snipes, and instead of people being lazy and getting gold and, I don't know, gold, elixir, whatever off these dead bases, they wanted people to actually attack using all different types of troops. Strategies such as this one, the traditional go wipe, they want people to use these because these take a little bit longer to train up, and this was kind of the way that the game was meant to be played. Alright, let's just attack real quick, shall we? And then I'll jump back because you guys are probably like, whoa, where'd you get all this information? I know how to do my research, bros. Anyhow, let's just see if I could get the 2-star real quick. I'm just wasting spells. I probably could have 3-starred this guy. Barbarian, King, Archer, Queen. Alright, let's jump back to my point because I'm just completely out of breath right now. But anyhow, the point is that Supercell wants raids like these. They want people to raid these type of true, or make these type of true combinations, and then if they get impatient, they want the people to gem these kind of troops, because these people who gem Barch, that doesn't help them. People who boost and end up making Barch in 10 seconds, that doesn't help them. So they tried to eliminate Barch. If you remember my video from a year ago, Supercell started to eliminate Barch about a year ago, and slowly but steadily, Barch has been kind of disappearing. So, here's what the compromise was. Supercell employees realized that, okay, we need to do something. people are ticked off that their troops are taking too long and they're not getting as much. Their troop combinations are taking up more elixir and gold and whatever else it costs than the whatever they're getting back. How do we fix this? How do we make it so the game is just fun even if the people don't get too much loot? Well, they released a new game and it's called Clash Royale, right? So in the time that your troops are being loaded and finished and built and whatever you want to call it, well, you get to play Clash Royale, a game that you can pretty much raid whenever you want. Do you see how everything balances out? It appears that if people stop playing the game as much and they start playing Clash Royale for a little bit, at least the hardcore clashers, and they get interested in that game for just a little bit and their bases accumulate just a little bit of loot, it should be enough to balance out the loot system. And this is what was happening over the course of the last few days, and I finally figured all this out and it all clicked and I was like, alright, this should be an interesting video. So let me try to sum everything up. Supercell gets its shares bought by this gigantic bank company known as SoftBank. They have to increase their marketing budget so they could hit the deadline or whatever the heck they were given. To do this, they market Clash of Clans, come out with a new update so they can market Clash of Clans and make the game a little bit more interesting, and of course give everyone more incentive to gem. This increase leads to too many players and not enough loot, too many active players, so they try to make the players more inactive by releasing a new game, and it worked. I, who played Clash of Clans so much, all of a sudden aren't playing Clash of Clans as much, and now I'm playing a little bit of Clash Royale while my troops train. All of a sudden, the farming system fixes itself. Do you see how things work? Interesting. So this is why they never released a statement. It's deep. It's not something everyone can just get like that, but it is cool. And as you guys can see, as time progresses, hopefully everything will really balance out and there will be just enough loot for everyone and no one will be complaining. If you guys agree, leave a like on this video because it was a pain to create. Thank you guys for watching. This is going to be me logging off.
Learn to play, he'll teach you fast, cause I.O.N.M.A.S, no compare contrast. With this competition he fucking blast, cause everybody be placing last. Variety, yeah, it's very vast, like 100 videos they getting past. Those I.O.N links, you better click, cause his videos are fucking sick. You better sell, cause I really think that I.O.N.C.L.A.S.H is the place to click. I hope you make it to 7 digits of YouTube subs on both accounts. Yeah, talent and you got large amounts, and YouTube views too large to count as we go. Yeah.